Welcome to Revolutionary Motion, where we show you tennis from a different perspective. Don't you just hate the feeling of having seemingly easy put-away volleys and just missing them from time to time, even though they seem so simple that nobody should actually miss them? Well, there's a specific reason why you miss them, and most people on the planet actually do miss them. And that's because you're trying to hit a full power swing or a great technique shot in these moments. However, that's not the easiest way to finish off those points many times. Okay, so let me dive into what kind of ways you can use to make it easier for yourself to finish off these kinds of shots. So first, let's explain what kind of shots I'm talking about. So it could be, for example, that you're coming to the net, you push your opponent completely off of the court, and now you see that they just give you an easy ball back to you, kind of high, a little bit shorter, and your opponent is still next to the sideline, so you have an open court to play with. Now, most of the time, it's pretty clear that you're just trying to hit it to the open court, but most people, again, hit it too hard. So what you want to do instead, in this specific scenario, you want to get the easiest shot possible for yourself that still fulfills the requirement of getting it over to that side of the court. Now here we replicated that specific scenario I just talked about, where I'm playing a short cross-court ball to push Kata off the court, and then I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for myself to finish up that next shot without any risk involvement. Now you can see that I'm not trying to hit the ball down, I'm actually trying to hit it slightly up off of my racket, just to make it simpler for myself to not miss it in the net and keep it in the middle of the court that I can aim for. And now we have a couple of scenarios here which show what you shouldn't do, where I'm trying to hit this ball really hard and then mess up in the end and miss that shot just because my swing is too long for this moment. The second scenario that's pretty common is that you're coming to the net again, and now you're hitting a good shot, which not necessarily has to be far to the sidelines, but you're maybe hitting it really hard and you're making your opponent scramble to get it back. Now you expect them to maybe lob you or hit a good shot back because your shot wasn't perfect, it wasn't very well placed. But surprisingly, they don't manage to do so, and they mess up their shot hitting a short ball that surprises you. Now you were on the way back trying to, cover the court and make it easier for yourself to get to the next ball, but now the ball ends up kind of short and higher. Many times what people do is they either let the ball bounce, they wait where they are, let it bounce, and then try to finish it off. But at that moment, your opponent already had a lot of time to get back, and many times gets to the next ball and finishes you off. Or they try to run forward and actually take it out of the air and hit it again, full power. Now what should you do in this moment? In this moment, you should be running forward as quickly as you can, keeping your racket in front of you, and just letting the ball drop off of your racket short cross court. This applies to probably 98% of the scenarios, because you can always finish off the ball by playing that short cross-court ball off of the court whenever your opponent is far behind the baseline. So when you get those short balls that surprise you, or sometimes even they don't surprise you, but you just don't want to miss it, make sure you work on hitting short cross-court balls, because the short down the line balls will go straight back towards the opponent because you don't have any angle to get the ball off the court. Because this scenario was a little bit more difficult to replicate, we have Kata here feeding me overheads until she randomly puts in a shorter ball that is supposed to surprise me and, replicate that scenario that we talked about. And you can see here, I have really no clue when that shorter ball is coming. So as soon as it does come, I really have to move quickly and try to finish off that ball as easily as possible, which in this case, most of the time is a short cross-court volley like I talked about before already.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.